I've been talking a lot about self-improvement on this channel for some time now. Everybody knows the benefits of raising testosterone as a man, as well as getting proper nutrition and having a solid exercise routine. But the fact of the matter is, you are not going to be able to make any lasting changes unless you change your mind first. And all of these things that happen in the physical plane are just effects, with the real causes coming from the mental and spiritual planes. But 97% of people fail to realise this, and that is exactly why people struggle to manifest the life they want. They get stuck thinking merely from the physical side of things, and the mental and spiritual aspects never come into play. So in this video, I want to talk about the 3 planes of existence, what they are, and how to think about them so you can use them to improve your life, so you can become part of the 3% who understand how to use metaphysics. Stick around till the end, because I'm going to break this down so simply that anyone could apply this to their life. The term metaphysics brings negative connotations to most people. If I start talking about manifestation or frequency and vibration, people will just assume I walk around with crystals around my neck, or that I have dreadlocks and take shilajit powder every day and live off seeds and leafy greens. But you don't have to do any of that stuff to be spiritual. And to be honest, none of that makes a blind bit of difference to how you manifest or raise your vibration in order to change your reality. Let's get stuck into it. So what are the 3 planes of existence? First, we have the physical plane. This is where we are right now. This is the playground for your senses, or for your ego. This feels the most real to us because we think things are only real if we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch them. Even though matter is just vibrating at different rates and only appears to be solid, our brains think it's real, and as that's what the eyes perceive, the brain believes. This is very much like a matrix that we live inside of. Next, we have the mental plane. This is where your consciousness lives and all of your thoughts. The funny thing is that people forget is that nothing comes to the physical plane before starting here first. Look around you right now. Everything that you can see came from a thought and began its life in someone's imagination. Every chair, every table, every building, every sign on the street, every item of clothing. This is what it means in verse John 1:3 in the Bible. Through him all things were made, without him nothing was made that was made. But that's a whole nother video in itself. And third, we have the spiritual plane. This is where you go when you sleep or when you dream. If you know about astral projection, that's the spiritual plane. When you go into a deep meditative state, that's the spiritual plane. This is where your true essence lives, or you could say your higher self. Most people never find spirituality because it's being or has been wiped from civilization, especially in the West. Generally, this is the last plane people find out about, which is not only completely backwards, but it's also the reason most of us live unfulfilling, unhappy, poverty-stricken lives. Let me explain. Okay, as we just spoke about the 3 planes of existence, what are they and how can you use them to help improve your life? Okay. First, we got the physical plane, then we have the mental plane, and then we have the spiritual plane. The best way that I thought to give you an idea of the misuse of this is I came up with like a funnel kind of system, okay? So rather than people using a funnel the right way where you go in at the top and filter down, okay? People start at the bottom and that's pretty much where they stay. So you have the physical plane down at the bottom, the mental plane, and then spiritual at the top, okay? Is that right? Wow, spelling's all over the place. Down here, the physical plane is where most people operate, okay? This is where the matter is. This is, you know, what we perceive as real, everything that we can see, hear, smell, taste and touch, okay? Then we look at that, I spelled mental. Then we have the mental plane, okay? This is where your creative thinking happens, okay? Where your consciousness lives, where your ideas will come from, I guess. And then spiritual plane is obviously, like I said earlier, is where your higher self lives, okay? If we wanted to change our reality, okay, we would work down like this. But unfortunately, we have a lot of obstacles and obstructions on all of these three planes, okay? On the physical plane, we have stuff like poor diet, poor water supply, things like drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, basically anything that is going to negatively affect the body and make you feel shit. You know what I mean? How can you raise your vibration and operate in any of these other planes? Your lowest, this is where your lowest self is, okay? This is the lowest plane. If you're fucked down here, you're going to be fucked here and you're never even going to get to here. Also education, and that's going to be a recurring thing which you'll see. On the mental plane, okay, the obstacles that we have here, things like TV, news outlets, or general media, obviously social media, education. How can you keep, okay, let's reverse engineer it. If your diet is absolutely shocking, you drink crap tap water, maybe you smoke weed, you get drunk on the weekend with your boys, you smoke cigarettes every day, and you're not self-educated, okay? By the way, edu is a Latin word. It means to draw out, okay? So education is not some bullshit information that you're told to learn that you're supposed to just remember. Edu is actually drawing out from inside, okay? Again, like I was saying, sorry, I got off track. If down here is fucked, okay, and then in the mental plane, you've got all these negative images, things on TV, news outlets, pushing out negative imagery every single day. Most people, right, my parents do this, God bless them, I love them so much, but they wake up, okay, have a cigarette, have coffee, and they put on the news, okay? They get told how to feel, how their day is going to go before it's even begun, okay? Social media, again, negatively affects mental health. We see this now in studies in teenagers, people of all ages. People see these perfect lives online, and people post their like most perfect make-believe selves or aesthetic images, and when people can't achieve that, it gets them depressed, it gets them down, it's no good. Obviously education is on the mental plane as well, because if the knowledge that we're getting is wrong, it affects our thinking. Up here in spiritual, again, one of the obstacles is education, because people don't really teach spirituality. It's a personal thing, at least it's supposed to be. The world religions is what we're taught. And a lot of these, which I'm going to cover in coming videos, are allegories for other things. That's what I believe. Now, I only have looked at the allegory in the Bible, things that, it doesn't mean what we think it means. I can't speak on the Torah or the Quran because I haven't read it, but if I was a gambling man, I would say that all of them mean something completely different to what is written in text, okay? Basically, education and world religions. Religious education, what's taught in schools, okay? So we're kind of indoctrinated to believe certain things, okay? And what happens is, because down here is so prominent, or this is what people perceive as the most real, okay? People don't even care about spirituality anymore. Like, how many people do you know? If you're like me, okay, you're a white guy in the south of England. How many other white guys do you know that go to church? Because I don't really know any. Maybe a few. I know people that do service and stuff like that, but it's dying out. It really is dying out. This basically, okay, is how a manifestation process should work, okay? Because everything comes to the physical plane through the mental, okay? So if your body's fucked and your mental's fucked, you are never ever going to be able to change your life. It's that simple, okay? So given I've just written all of the obstacles around how this works, if you wanted to alter this process and actually manifest what you wanted to happen in your life, you could start with the body, okay? So make sure you get regular, good exercise, improve diet, quit smoking, obviously quit drugs and alcohol. Anything that you can do to make yourself feel as good as possible. Even hormone optimization, very important whether you're a man or a woman. If your body can't operate like a man's body is supposed to operate, we're seeing a lot of signs of this now in society. Things are going to shit and people are getting very angry because they don't really know how to feel about anything. The mental plane, I like things like reading, okay? and visualization to improve my mental faculties. Spirituality, on the spiritual plane, you would have meditation and prayer, okay? So bearing in mind that all physical manifestations come from the mental, right? Everything started in somebody's mind first. It makes me laugh when people say they don't believe about manifestation, because everything you think about and then do, okay, which you do non-stop every single day, is a manifestation of something that you thought about and then you brought into the 3D screen of space, as Neville Goddard calls it, but the physical plane, okay? For example, now I'm thinking about moving this pen backwards and forwards, okay? And then I've done it. I just manifested it, okay? That's all it is. The way that you can make this process work for you, okay? And how you can manifest better is become more spiritual, okay? Because spirituality and meditation especially affects the mind, okay? There's many studies around this. If you meditate, you will be calmer, okay? You'll be better able to deal with situations and the stresses of life. This is scientifically proven. This is not Gavin saying this. This is scientific fact, okay? If you can then have improved clarity and improved improved thought processes on the mental plane, you can then control what happens better in the physical. That is how I would describe the 3 planes of existence.